What's going on, everybody? It's Stas here. So I want to break down about 7 stocks that I'm looking at for this week in the stock market, and I also want to go over what happened last week in the markets. We're going to break down the S&P 500, the NASDAQ 100. So sit back, relax, hit the like button, subscribe, go down below, get into the Strive Smart Discord chat. You might as well get 2 stocks from WeBull. Those are valued up to $1,600, and you could also get $30 free from M1 Finance. All of those are linked right down below. So let's get into it. What we have right here is the S&P 500, and what we notice is a crazy rebound off the lows. We saw about, I can't even count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, pretty much 10 straight trading days of rebounding market momentum, right? S&P went from 37.23 all the way up to 39.80. It gained about 6.5%, over 250 points. And the past couple of days, we've slowly been seeing a shift in momentum from that crazy upside push to now we're dropping again. In fact, after that Fed meeting, the markets popped on that day. The S&P went from 39.40 to 39.80, but the markets have dropped the next 2 days after that. The bond yield, the 10-year Treasury, went up. That actually dropped the markets, especially the tech stocks, the past couple trading days. So, I mean, we're seeing the sell-off. Now, the question is, where could this market go? Well, taking a broader look at what is going on, we can see we actually held this 50 moving average on Friday. We pulled back. We touched it at 38.85. We rallied off of that point, and obviously we closed above it, and we also closed above 3,900. So that is a good sign. But I think the second we dump under this point, which I think is very much in the cards still, considering how we dumped off aggressively at the close on Friday, I think if we dump further down here, we break the 50 moving average at 38.85, we're going to 38.30, in my opinion, no doubt about it. That is right around this 4-hour 180 moving average, right around this gold line. That would be the low 3800s. That is where I think we are going to be going, maybe even this week, and we'll see what the futures markets are looking like. We'll see what the 10-year Treasury yield is looking like. That has been very important in the markets these days. If that sees a push to 1.8, maybe higher, who knows, guys? These tech stocks, they could go down even lower. We might see a drag on the S&P because of that, and we could get to our target of 3,800, 3,830, heck, maybe even lower than that. So let's take a look at the NASDAQ 100. What has this been doing? You guys can clearly see that this has been hit more. Again, we just talked about why the tech stocks, the 10-year, and this is currently off about $1,000, or points rather, 1,000 points off the high still. It's down about 7%. And what we can see is, yes, the inverse head and shoulder. I've mentioned this a bunch on the channel. Left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder. We might see a push to the mid 13,000s. That's very possible still. But again, if we tank under 13,700, 13,750, that is going to be a point where we might take the lows out, or at least go down and test the lows. And by lows, I mean where we were in the beginning of March. That's at about 12,200 points, roughly, right? So be mindful of that. Honestly, guys, be mindful of that. The VIX is also at a very low point. I've mentioned that. So we might see some volatility. We might see a little downdraft the next couple of days. I think that's possible. It's in the cards, and I wouldn't be surprised if that were to happen. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comments, guys. I would love to know what you think. Make sure to hit that like button, and let's talk about some stocks here. Many of these are reporting earnings this week. Number one is Golden Nugget Online Gaming, GNOG, and this is one that is close to me. I mean, I'm in New Jersey. New Jersey's a very big legal sports gambling, online gambling market. And this company here, I mean, it's been hit very aggressively the past couple of months. I mean, from $28 to under 13, guys. Gosh, almost into the $11 range. That was a drop of over 50%. And now we're seeing a rebound back. You guys can see it closed at $16.89 on Friday, and it's hovering above $17 right now. And they're reporting earnings this upcoming week. I'm very excited about this. This is on Tuesday, I believe, the 23rd. Yeah, the 23rd at 4 p.m. They are reporting earnings, so after market hours. And you're kind of already seeing a push. I mean, look at this big spike after hours on Friday. I'm very eager to see if this is going to continue into this upcoming trading week. I have a feeling it is. I have a feeling that this 4-hour chart, what we're seeing here, let me show you this. I have a feeling this is a very bullish pattern. We might be breaking out from here. That's kind of what I'm watching. And I think GNOG could eventually, in the next coming weeks, no joke, especially if they do well with earnings, this could touch $18, $19, maybe even $20 again. So from where it is right here, I think there's momentum, and we could catch a move from 12 to 13%, maybe 15% on the higher end in terms of upside. So GNOG, I like it. Golden Nugget Online Gaming, keep that one on the watch list. GameStop is another one. GME, we covered this in the previous couple of videos, but for the new viewers out there, people that maybe missed those videos, GameStop is a huge one to watch right now. This one has obviously been crazy the past couple of months. I mean, from going from $10 to $500, back to $30, back to $350. Now it's at $200. I mean, this has been one heck of a roller coaster ride. And they actually report earnings the same day as Golden Nugget Online Gaming, the 23rd. Let me see. Yeah, they're after hours as well, 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. And what we're noticing here on the technicals, you guys know I'm a pretty big technical guy. What we're seeing right here is a breakout above 200. We obviously did that back in the beginning of March. We hit 200, broke that, went to about 350. Now we're hovering pretty much right back around $200, that previous all-time high. We're holding that as support, and I'm just waiting for the signal for this thing to break out. We're not there quite yet. You guys can see, in fact, this kind of looks like a descending triangle. We have support at 200. We're downtrending, making lower highs into that support. So this very well could dump. Don't be surprised if this were to dump into the mid 150s. That's in the cards for this stock. But if the descending triangle doesn't play out, we break above the moving averages on the hourly chart, and we see a short squeeze. I don't even know what the short interest is right now. I heard that it was dropping from 40%. Maybe it's 20, 30%. That's still a decent amount. We might see a decent short squeeze. Who knows? That's possible as well. So I like GameStop here, GME. I'm going to create alert here. Mark is at or above. I'm going to put this at 200. Let's say $210. That's a pretty decent price. Maybe even higher than that, but we'll see. We'll put it at 210. And another one I'm watching, of course, is AMC. I haven't talked about this one in a while. We actually called this out recently on the YouTube channel, if you guys remember, and that was back when it was under $9. It broke above this wedge we were talking about. It took out the 930 resistance. It filled the gap up to 1150, and like I mentioned recently on Patreon as well, it went from 1150 all the way to $15. It hit that resistance point. Now you guys can clearly see the resistance at $14.50, $15. And I believe this is setting up for another entry point. I'm not sure if this is it at about $13.90, $14. I wouldn't rush into it here. But if we were to see a drop, a flash crash, an extended sell-off of a couple days, who knows? If we were to drop anywhere to about $11, $11.50, maybe $12, this area is where I think that'd be a good dip buy, honestly. Anywhere from $11 to $12, I think that is where buyers would step in, and we could see a continuation of this uptrend here. So watch out for AMC. I really like it here, and if you guys recall, we covered their earnings. Was it last week? Let me double check the date. Yeah, it was definitely, no, it was a week ago, or 10 days ago, rather, on the 10th of March. They're doing very well in terms of the domestic theaters here in the United States. They've opened up 90% of them, right? Internationally, on the flip side, they're not doing as well, which is still a problem, no doubt about it. And in California, in the United States, I believe now officially all of their theaters are open and operating in California, and they're not all at full capacity, but the fact that we're getting to the point where most of these theaters are back and operating in the US at least, that is a good sign fundamentally for this business. And again, if this dumps off, and this 4-hour chart shows it even better, that 1350, 14, it might not be the best entry point. You guys can see it's starting to curl down here. If this pulls back 1150, like I said, the technicals line up, this is going to be a good one in my opinion. And Blink Charging, BLNK, haven't talked about this one in a while, guys. They went up 6.3% on Friday. You guys can see this little inverse head and shoulder action as well. Same with the NASDAQ 100. You're kind of seeing that here on the Blink, BLNK, the stock here, Blink, I always call it Blink Energy. Blink Charging is what it's called, right? You guys can see that inverse head and shoulder. So I think there's some upside here. They have earnings coming up on the 25th. So what is that? Thursday? Yeah, I think that's Thursday. So if they do well with earnings, you guys know that might fluctuate the stock upwards. It doesn't always work like that, but it might in this case. And for a technical spot I'm looking at, take a look at this 5-day chart. You guys notice the clear downtrend intact, right? Lower highs, lower lows, all of that stuff. We closed right at the resistance on Friday, and I believe we might squeeze out of this. You guys saw a massive push. Look at all that volume on Friday right at the close. That is actually ridiculous. Look at that volume. Holy crap. That ripped up on Friday. And if this gaps out, $39, $40, this is definitely going to be a breakout in my eyes. Ahead of earnings in my run, and even after earnings, again, like we said, if they do well with earnings, it has potential to go higher. So watch out for Blink Charging. I think it could get to ultimately $42. That's the first target I'm looking at. Probably about $45. That is another sticking point for the stock. So watch out for this one. I like it. Again, earnings are coming up. Same with Bio Nanogenomics, BNGO. This is another sort of kind of inverse head and shoulder, not as clean as the NASDAQ 100 or BLNK, but it's still kind of right. You guys can see it. And I want to see on this 5-day, very similar to BLNK, if BNGO could break out of this little downtrend. You guys can see lower lows, lower highs, and now we're right at the resistance of the downtrend. If we end up taking this out tomorrow, I believe BNGO does have upside to the higher nines, giving it about 6-7% upside, and maybe even up to the $10 range, which is almost 10% upside from where we are right now. So watch out for this time frame, 5-day, 5-minute on BNGO. And do they have earnings coming up as well? I do believe so, yes, on the 23rd. So that is on Tuesday. Same with GameStop and Golden Nugget Online Gaming. So I'm very excited about these companies, guys. Granted, I don't own BioNano. I don't own any of these stocks we've talked about so far. In terms of my long-term investment, my swing accounts, I don't own them at all. But this week, I might be looking to make moves in these, hence why we're talking about them in today's video, right? I don't just talk about these stocks for nothing, guys, right? So, yeah, BNGO, look for a move up to about 10, maybe higher if we're lucky, maybe $11, $12. That's if they do well with earnings. That's very possible. Visa is another one, ticker symbol V. This one got completely slammed on Friday. If you guys don't remember, I covered this on Friday. The Wall Street Journal reported that the U.S. Justice Department was investigating whether the company is engaging in anti-competitive practices. The Justice Department's antitrust division was gathering information on whether Visa has limited merchants' ability to route debit card transactions over card networks that are less expensive than Visa. So there's this whole investigation right now. There's a big drop, panic selling, overreaction, whatever you want to call it. And I'm looking at this as not buy the dip quite yet because it's still a falling knife. It very well could go down lower. It could go to 200, 195, 190 for all we know. So I'm not jumping in quite yet. But as the dust settles, I know you guys have heard that, as the dust settles, which it happens a lot when there's drastic news in the markets, a couple days later, as people calm down, I believe we might see a rebound. Actually, I'm pretty confident we will see a rebound in a blue chip stock like Visa. I think it's going to bounce right back, honestly. And again, don't just buy because I'm saying that. This could take a month, 2 months to bounce back, maybe even a year. Nobody knows. But ultimately, when the dust settles at 190, 180, who knows where it's going to go? 200. As the dust settles, I think it's going to go whoop right back up. 215, 220, 230, and ultimately it's going to hit all-time highs again because blue chip companies like Visa, I mean, there's such a slim chance that they're going to go out of business, that they're going to get busted from this, that it's going to destroy the business. I mean, I think it's just a speed bump. Sure, they might have done some malpractice. We'll see. I mean, I hope not. We'll see if that's the case. If so, they'll pay a fine, whatever, and even then, they'll still bounce back. That's just how big of a company they are. So watch out for Visa. I really like this one. And Uber is the last one for today. And if you guys stuck till the end, I'm going to do 3 bonus ones, so keep watching. Uber, UBER, this one went up 2.5% on Friday. You guys can see up over $1.30, and I really like the pattern I am seeing here. This is looking like an ascending triangle. We have resistance at about $60. That was from the middle of January, also from the middle of February, also from the middle of March. It looks like in the middle of every month so far this year, Uber's topped at $60 pretty much, right? For the most part. And now it's trading at $57, and we're actually holding a higher low. We popped up on Friday. That confirmed the higher low from the previous couple of lows here. And now we have one sticking point ahead of us at about $57.70. That was the high from the beginning of March. So I think the second $57.70, $58 breaks. I really think we're going straight to $60 plus on Uber here, and from there maybe even $64 if the ascending triangle plays out. So those are the top 7 stocks, and like I said, if you guys stuck till the end, here are some bonus ones. QuantumScape QS, I really like this one as well. This is a nice clean cut inverse head and shoulder. You guys can see it right here. On Friday we went up 4%. That's looking pretty good. Now I want to see on a smaller time frame basis, I want to see if the highs from Wednesday break, and actually pre-market on Wednesday or Thursday, and during the market on Thursday, I want to see if roughly $59 to $61 breaks. I think that's the sticking point in the very short term. From there, if that breaks on QuantumScape, 65 is the next target, which was that high from recently, right? You guys can see that right around 65. And if that were to break, that is where the right shoulder in this inverse head and shoulder is going to complete, right around $70 to about $72. You guys can see that here on the 4-hour. I think this gap is going to fill. It's about 20%, so that, you know, it's going to be hard to get all of that move. Obviously, we like getting our slice of the pie, and out of that 20% that could happen, keyword is could, I would be happy with a 5% move out of that, 10%, maybe 12, 15 if we're lucky. So, you know, QuantumScape, that is one I like. ExxonMobil, I mentioned in my Saturday video, my M1 Finance portfolio update. Make sure to go check that out. The video before this one, I mentioned how I was buying ExxonMobil at a cheap price, $42, $45, and I don't necessarily want to get into it more at this price at 56 for my long-term account. If it got to, let's say, $50, I'd average up in that account. But when I'm looking at this as a swing trade, I'm getting pretty dang excited, considering every time it's gotten to the 180 SMA here on the 4-hour chart, once, twice, 3, 4 times in the past, multiple times, every time it's gotten there, it's rallied off that low. It's seen a new high, at least in the past couple of months. And you guys know, with how oil has been doing, gas prices are going up, production is not doing so well, but demand is up. the way oil is looking, the price is going up. These energy companies are going to be doing well, and that is why I bought the stock a couple months ago, guys. I mean, I had a feeling this was going to happen as the economy was opening up again, all this demand. I mean, yeah, this was a good play. And if you missed the entry at 42, 45 when we were initially talking about it a couple months ago, I mean, now you're getting another chance. Not saying to go and rush in and buy the energy stocks, the oil stocks. Don't do that, actually. Don't do that because I'm talking about it. Please, you must do your own research. But I'm saying if you've done your research, you know Exxon, you understand energy, the demand, the supply, how everything is working right now, I believe 50, 55, that's a decent entry price. Considering the high from a couple years ago, guys, the high was at about $87. So if 55, 50 holds, I think we could get back to 60, 65. Then we have a big resistance on this 3-year chart. You guys can see it right around 65. That was support back in 18, 19, and a little bit in 2020. And it's right around the 180 moving average here on the 3-year chart. So watch out for 65 as resistance. And we're going to wrap the video up here. Hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe. Make sure to go down below, get into the Strive Smart Discord chat, grab 2 stocks from WeBull. Those are valued up to $1,600. All you have to do is deposit $100, and that is how you get 2 free stocks. And you could also check out my M1 Finance link. That is linked down below. They brought that back. They're doing $30 free right now, guys. All you have to do is literally use my link, deposit any amount of money, and you get $30 to invest with. We both actually do. I get $30 too, and I also get 2 stocks from WeBull if you use that link. And if you guys want more access to me throughout the day, buy and sell alerts, call outs, morning update videos, and exclusive content, little snippets throughout the day, check out my Patreon. That is linked right down below, as well as your 2 stocks from WeBull and your $30 from M1. So I'll catch you all in the next video. Thanks for watching as always. Keep crushing the markets. Stay safe out there, guys.